From the economic breakdown that fueled the French Revolution to modern-day subprime crunch, history is marked by economic crises that shook Europe and the world. These weren't just financial disasters. They were turning points that reshaped societies, shattered lives, and changed the course of history. By learning about these events, students can see how crises can lead to dictatorships and put democracy at risk. How history is taught matters. The Observatory on History Teaching in Europe has a mission to provide a clear picture on how history is taught. The OHTE Thematic Report on Economic Crises in History Teaching offers a snapshot on how this topic is taught in 17 European countries, and here are its 10 key findings. Number 1. Economic crises are included in the national curricula of all countries. In 16 out of 17 member states, learning about economic crises is required in history class. And most teachers say it's one of the most important things students should understand. Number 2. The Great Depression is the most taught crisis in history, usually in the context of 19th and 20th century history. But some classes also look further back, even to ancient times. Number 3. Local history is the least prominent perspective listed in curricula and textbooks when teaching about economic crises, but most focus on Europe and North America. The effects of global economic crises on African, Asian or Latin American societies are rarely present. Number 4. Political and economic history feature most in curricula and textbooks. However, in the classroom, teachers focus much more on social history, meaning how economic crises affected people's lives and how they are connected to history of ideas. Number 5. Curricula and textbooks in all countries focus on the big picture, governments, policies and systems, while giving less space to history from below. In the classroom, however, teachers often highlight everyday life and how crises affected ordinary people. Number 6. History lessons often show how economic crises affected different social classes, but they rarely reflect the full diversity of society, such as ethnic, cultural, religious, linguistic, or gender minorities, but also its diversity in terms of age or ability. Number 7. History curricula and textbooks that include economic crises aim to build students' critical thinking. In the classroom, teachers also prefer this approach by engaging in classroom discussions and analysis of historical sources. Number 8. 71% of teachers are satisfied to a greater or lower extent with how economic crises are covered in national curricula and educational materials. 29%, however, think there's too much focus on political history, too much content to cover, too little time, and not enough useful materials. Number 9. Almost half of teachers, 45% of the respondents, say their students are genuinely interested in learning about economic crises, and very few see a lack of interest. Number 10. In 14 out of 17 countries, economic crises are mainly prescribed for history lessons, with little or no interdisciplinary approach. Teachers, on the other hand, prefer teaching this topic with an interdisciplinary perspective, connecting them to subjects like economics or civics. By studying economic crises in history, students don't just learn how these events came to be. They also develop essential skills for a democratic future, empathy for those who lived through hardship, tolerance of ambiguity in the face of complex or conflicting information, a sense of self-efficacy, and the ability to think historically. These are the foundations that help young people understand today's world, resist disinformation, and support democracies as spaces where every solution is weighed and every voice counts. the aim of history teaching should be to bolster democracies. Teaching history, grounding democracy.